play this now. I can't see it. Friday morning, 92.1 WROI, WROIFM.com, streaming audio live, RTC Channel 5, audio and video live on the First Federal Savings Bank Facebook page. Hey, Tanner, how you doing?
Good, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Welcome back. Sorry about the Broncos.
That's all right.
Okay, so we can go across the console with that said and say good morning to Mr. Dick Belcher from First Federal Savings Bank.
Oh, mister, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, David started it, see,
Okay.
as you walked in the door, so I just kind of picked up on that.
All right, it's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be dry. But it's going to be sunny, and the lake people will be having a lot of fun out there. We're going to talk a little bit about Lake Manitou later on.
Good.
And get up to date on what's going on there. Some of the schools around have started.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Caston's next week.
Yeah, Rochester's up and going.
Right.
Tippy Valley's up and going.
Another school year.
Yep.
Of course, remember the days when you and I were younger, we had 3 months off instead of 2.
That's right. Well, we were fast learners. And take more turns.
I see.
Time off. Well, it was the national law that you didn't start school till after Labor Day.
That's right.
What happened?
It wasn't like so many national laws, by the way, so yes.
All right. Well, some good information about Mr. and Mrs. Trent O'Dale. They had purchased Fansler Lumber Company. That was established by Art Fansler, who was a longtime resident of Rochester in the community in 1940, just before the war started. And then he developed Fansler Edition, which is right out there.
Okay, right.
And after the war was over, there was a huge demand for housing, and he was right at the right place. But anyway, the Calverts and Tatters have owned it for 35 years, and they said time to sell.
Move on.
Yeah, kind of similar to WROI.
There is that rumor out there, yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, we have basically sold the radio station to 3 Towers Broadcasting out of Shelbyville, Indiana. They're broadcasters. They will keep the radio station in Rochester, which was an important criteria for Sue and I. Now, again, you got to remember this is all kind of contingent on FCC approval, which will come probably the middle of next month. So they're the ones who finally have to sign off on it. But in the meantime, they have taken over the operation of it, basically.
Okay, well, welcome to them.
Yes.
You're going to be around for a couple weeks?
I will be.
Okay.
I will be. Can't get rid of me that quick.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, you and I have been together a few years.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Well, it's over 20, isn't it, that we've been doing this program?
Yeah. Dina Gottschalk told me that a long time ago.
I think, yeah.
She based that on when she came to work, that I was doing it, and then she's been here 20 plus years and has retired, so. Okay, a little trivia. How many acres does Lake Manitou cover? 775, 975, or 1,275 acres?
Okay.
All right. Tanner.
Morning.
Hey, Tanner.
Morning.
Give us some updates.
Sure, I'll give you some sports updates. We still don't have a ton going on right now. Getting a little more with some NFL preseason football starting. I know the Colts lost last night. I believe the Bears lost, as you mentioned, opening. Broncos lost. That's okay. No injuries to any of those teams' significant stars, at least. I got some local news here. Legendary high school coach Basil Mobby is back, as he's going to be the new head boys basketball coach at North Miami.
Boy, you say legendary, you mean legendary.
He brings 699 career wins with him.
Okay.
And 24 career sectional titles, along with a state championship with Lewis Cass and some state appearances with some other schools.
We've had him on this program before, and he's done a great job. He's quite entertaining to talk with.
Now, doesn't he have 2 state championships?
I know one's with Lewis Cass. I don't remember who the other ones were. Connorsville?
Yeah.
Okay.
One was with class basketball and one without. I think he's the only coach in the state of Indiana that's done that.
Is he?
Well, I'm not sure about
Okay.
that.
I don't know.
Somebody will correct that.
it'll be fun to have a coach of that legendary status in the
Indeed, it will
TRC.
be.
It'll be
It will
interesting.
be.
So good hire by North Miami, and it'll be interesting to see what the Warriors do this year. So.
Obviously, coaching is in his blood.
Yeah, I would say so. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Once you get it in your blood, it's hard. It's hard to get out. Even when you walk away from a little bit, a job opens up, and you're right back in it. So
Exactly.
good luck to him. Football practice, cross country, tennis, volleyball. They're all starting practice right now. So games and matches and meets will be starting soon.
Certainly.
And I know girls golf is underway. They've had a meet or two. So don't have any
Football 2
results.
weeks from tonight, right?
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it makes me smile to say football's here.
It's back.
So I got another. It's kind of a local note, but more of a national note. It was really interesting. I thought the Memphis Grizzlies have hired Notre Dame's women's assistant head coach Nyla Ivey to be their assistant coach.
Good for them.
Yeah, she was a member of the 2001 national championship team up in Notre Dame. Had been assistant head coach at Muffet McGraw for the last several years, and now and I believe there's a Ohio State's women's assistant going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Both of them.
Excellent.
So
Well, I know the Pacers last year hired an executive,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
A lady executive to be in their organization.
the Spurs kind of started this movement a few years ago, hiring a female assistant that even coached their summer league team a year or two ago, and now we're seeing a lot more of it. So I think it's pretty neat.
Good deal.
I mean, who cares as long as they know basketball?
Hey, that's the important
and
thing.
get along with the players. Another note on her family: her son Jaden Ivey is a really good basketball player and is committed to Purdue for 2020 basketball.
Wow.
And he just announced he's transferring high schools. Everybody was kind of wondering why. Now this kind of makes sense. He's going from Mishawaka Marion to the private school La Lemire. He'll get to play really good competition, but unfortunately for Purdue, with him playing in a private school that's outside the IHSAA, he's not eligible for Mr. Basketball or the Indiana State All-Star team.
Okay.
But
That's good news for Purdue, though, right?
yeah, and he'll play tougher competition and get him more ready right away for the college level. So he kind of blew up in summer ball this year. So I think it was a good pickup for Matt
Good.
Painter. So
Is he tall?
He's a guard,
Okay.
scoring guard, about 6'2".
Okay.
But to get one right out in Notre Dame's backyard, that doesn't happen very often for Purdue. So
Good
that's
deal.
nice.
Yeah.
Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1945, the United States dropped the second atomic bomb called Fat Man on Japan, which destroyed part of Nagasaki. This day in 1974, President Richard Nixon resigned, and Vice President Gerald Ford was sworn as the 38th U.S. president.
Okay.
He also played center for Michigan
Yes, he did.
University.
Right, I
So,
remember that.
Yeah.
And he was pretty clumsy.
Yeah.
Some blamed that on playing center for the University
Yeah,
of Michigan.
boy, you had bad knees.
On this day in 1988, the Cubs beat the Mets 6-4 in the first official night game in Wrigley Field
Really?
history.
Okay.
And also on this day, sports related on 1988, the Edmonton Oilers traded the great one, Wayne Gretzky, to the Los Angeles Kings. That was a pretty big trade. The
Yes, it
Oilers
was.
got quite a bit in return. And today is National Melon Day, it's National Book Lovers Day, and National Rice Pudding Day. I still don't really know how we're going to put all three of those together.
I'm not sure rice pudding and melon goes together,
I know,
does it?
I didn't. Yeah, I kind of threw it
Yeah.
off there, but I guess you can eat one or the other and read a book. There, you can cover all three.
You like
Got it.
rice pudding?
I can't say I do. Do you?
Yes, my
Okay.
mother did a great job of making rice pudding.
Good.
And whenever she sat down in front of me, I ate.
That's good. You learned well.
And smiled.
Yes.
Mom,
Thank you.
Mom, this is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, from now through August 21st, Midwest Eye Consultants are donating $5 from every pair of sunglasses sold. And it goes to the Leader Dog Fund for the Blind.
Okay.
Fulton County United Way is hosting a fundraising event with Snogmatier on tomorrow at 3:30. Grapes and Green, 1 mile fun run, walk, and 4 stops to enjoy Snogmatier wine, beer, and cheese. Root beer will be available.
There you go.
Okay. 4th annual Round Barn Car, Truck, and Bike Show is August 17th at the Fulton County Museum.
Okay.
I see you got a brochure on that.
We do.
here. And Fulton County Chamber of Commerce is having a Women in Business Luncheon on Thursday, August 22nd. Brenda Freezer will be the special guest speaker. It's $15 for chamber members, $30 for other. You know who that lady is?
I do not.
I don't either.
Okay, we'll find out for next week, right?
We will.
Okay.
We will. Okay, some milestones. Bob and Carol Sue Holloway are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. Kevin and Kim Burton is some flowers for them. They finished in the Farm Bureau Young Farmers Award Program.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's good. Also some flowers to Beacon Credit Union. They gave $10,000 towards feeding the hungry. And that's, I think their northern division that's kind of divided up like that. But thank you very much. Also some flowers to Kim Landis.
Oh, wow.
If you looked at the
Oh, man,
flowers on Main Street.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
Right out here in front of the window on 8th Street.
That's an example of where one person can make a difference.
She's up twice a week watering those things to keep them going, and they look nice.
They sure do. Okay, then the Dow was up 371 last week, or like yesterday.
Yesterday?
Previous to that, it was down. Previous to that, it was up. So, Pizza Hut's closing 500 stores.
Are they really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
Tells me they're closing 500 stores.
A lot of competition.
A lot of competition.
Sears is closing 21 stores.
Right.
Kmart's closing 5. Interest rates were down substantially this week. The 10-year Treasury got down to 1.7. Yeah, typically it's 2 plus.
Okay.
And but the mortgage is all messed up.
What does that mean when it gets down there to 1.7?
Well, you got an inverted yield curve on the 3-year versus the 10-year, and some say that's not good.
Okay.
A recession is coming, but otherwise, I don't know. See, the Fed dropped rates, and so the prime went down a quarter across the board. And,
we've been operating on a pretty good high here for a period of time.
Yeah. For several years here recently. So, things go up and things go down. So we'll see what happens here.
Well said.
Okay, come in and see us today. We're open until 5 o'clock, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. You can always bank with us online with our mobile apps, which is free to download. Our ATM is open 24/7. Zelle, person-to-person payments can be made right from your mobile app. It's a new thing for us.
You use that?
I don't owe anybody any money yet, so.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, Tanner, do I owe you anything?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Okay, our loan arrangers, Ben Dalton, John Schaefer here in Rochester, and Bill Morris in Winnemac can provide you with more details on what we have to offer in USDA, FHA loans, conventional loans, one-step construction loans. The market is very good on construction loans. We're very busy. There's a lot of things happening in northern Indiana where most of our branches are. We offer commercial lending for business. Contact Lendy Green for more information. We also offer financial services. Contact Mark Blubaugh or Brian Bell today for more information. Now, those are uninsured accounts. We need to make sure that you understand that. Our special now that we're giving for new accounts is a cooler, a collapsible cooler.
I saw that when I was in the lobby the other day. Those are nice.
Yeah, those girls got that filled with, I'm not sure what's in it. But if you get one, there's nothing in it. So.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like to just make the point of our business checking accounts. We don't have any fees on that, and I think most banks, or certainly some banks, have business fees. Mm-hmm. And with the closing of one of the banks here in town, we're getting a lot of
bet.
new accounts that are coming across, and they're being surprised about their business accounts. So come on down to First Federal, and we'll take care of you. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender, and an NMLS number is 299927. Gloria Carvey, step right up here.
Hello there. Hello there,
Good morning.
Dick. Good morning, Dick.
This is her first time on the radio.
I
She's
know.
probably a little
yeah.
nervous, you know.
All right, Gloria, you got a new job. Tell us what you're doing.
No, I just retired from the old one, and by golly, I got a new
Yeah,
one.
I
And
know.
it is what I'm doing is I'm teaching for the high school equivalency program. It's HSE, formerly called the GED program, and I'm still over at the Rochester Learning Center. And we will be starting classes next week, and that's the big announcement. I wanted to let everyone know that we are going to be open 2 mornings a week on Tuesday and Thursday morning, 9 to noon. And we are also going to be open in the evenings from 6 until 9, Monday and Wednesday. So 4 days a week. On Monday, Wednesday in the evenings, Tuesday, Thursday in the mornings. And we have another instructor, Eric Thomas, who's going to be doing the evenings, and I'm doing the mornings. And so we're just real proud to be getting going and doing that.
Too late to sign up?
There is no sign up. Just
okay.
walk on in.
Okay.
We do some pre-testing. The whole goal is to get students to pass the task test, which is the test assessing secondary completion. And so what we do is you can come on in, we get you signed in, and then we pre-test you and then develop an individualized plan. And our goal also is to help those, who just need some brush up. Maybe they have a high school diploma,
Right.
and they need some brush up to get ready to go to college, and we can help with that too.
Okay.
And so it's a really good thing. We want to get them prepared. We can test here in Rochester, even though the program is out of Warsaw Community Schools. We can test in Rochester, and Rochester Schools does the testing, and they have a very flexible testing schedule. When the student's ready, we can test.
Okay, now tell us again that for people out there that are interested and need this service, when and where do they need to go?
Okay, they need to stop by next week would be good. It's never too late to get going. And so stop by either Monday evening at 6 o'clock or Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, and we'll get them, going and so forth. But if they can't come next week, then come the next week. We are going to be there every week providing these services. So real excited about doing this. We have extended our hours. This is the first time in years there's been evening classes. So we're looking forward to helping people be successful.
And what's the cost?
There is no cost.
Oh,
That's
my
even the
God.
best part. This is a grant, and so the actual preparation is free. Now, to take the test when it comes time, and by the way, there are 5 tests that you take. It's reading and English and math and social studies and science.
Take them all at once?
No,
Okay.
you can take them in different settings,
Okay.
and so you don't have to take them all at once, but it's $95,
Okay.
and that's a state fee. So it's they pay that. They can also work through the Work One office, and then they help them if they have some financial limitations.
Good.
So there's an opportunity too, so.
Gloria,
It's free.
thanks for all the service that you've given to education over the years. How many years you been involved?
Oh my goodness! I started teaching at Argus way back when. But then I was 34 years at IB Tech and still in adult education. So.
Well, thank you for the
Thank
service.
you.
And thank you for coming by this morning.
Oh, I appreciate being able to let everyone know about this.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Okay, David Heyde, step forward here. Let's hear what's
This is
going on at
right.
Lake.
Good morning.
What's happening at Lake Manitou?
Well, it's a good year at Lake Manitou, and this weekend, tomorrow actually at the Rochester Moose, starting at 5:30, we have our big annual fundraiser roast and toast. Like I say, at 5:30, there's a silent auction throughout the evening, and because of some very generous donations from individuals and businesses, we have some great items this year. We have a big paddleboard, we have 4K television, sound bar. We've had some people put together a gourmet pizza night for up to 8. There's a lot of variation. Yeti coolers. If people can't get the cooler at First Fed, come to the Moose tomorrow night, and you can get one at the auction, and we would gratefully appreciate someone overpaying. So whatever they can do. So.
Okay, what are some of the other auction items that you have?
We have a 30-minute airplane ride. Manitou Marina is putting up a gift card for some gas at the marina, so that's always a good one. Spider Beware has donated treatments. Most anyone at the lake knows that the Spider Beware treatments are something that you want to sign up for. So they have given, and we also have a trip out to Las Vegas. We have pontoon rental from Lake Manitou. So like I say, wide variation of opportunities at the auction tomorrow.
Okay, this is a once a year fundraiser for the association, correct?
This is a time to just come out and have fun and fellowship and celebrate the lake.
Okay, what does the Lake Manitou Association do?
It's a group of volunteer board. There's 13 of us on the board. And it's all about balance. We want to make sure that we keep Lake Manitou as healthy as we can for all of those residents around the lake. Obviously, it's a huge part of Fulton County and the city of Rochester for what it does for tourism and bringing people to town. So we work hard on trying to understand what we can do to keep the clarity. You look at the lake, and you'll be announcing later the size of the lake, but we have a watershed of nearly 27,000 acres. So we've paired this year with the conservation people to do a study to see about the sediments coming into through Rain Creek, to see what we can do.
Wait a minute, 27,000 acres drain into that?
Yes, yeah, all the way down into Miami County, and by comparison, you look at Lake Manitou, that's nearly 2.5 times the size and only 1/3 of the watershed.
Okay.
So it's pretty unique. Lake Manitou used to be 5 lakes, and it was dammed up in, I think it was 1827 by the government to provide a mill for the Potawatomi tribe, and so it captures a lot of acres, and that's really where it comes in. We've tried to manage the aquatic plants as they're coming back after, with the hydrilla kill 10 years ago, we had to wipe out the weeds in the lake, and all of them. And when you take out the aquatic plants, that's not good for the fish. That's not really good for anything. So we need that balance. We've worked hard on trying to understand. We've done the biomapping to understand where the aquatic plants are coming back, monitoring to make sure we don't have any of those bad plants coming back. We've done some dredging the last few years. Last fall, we dredged right by the DNR launch, actually just by Gloria's house. And currently we've looked at 10 other locations that we've gotten pricing on dredging to see, what makes sense. So we try to be good stewards of the lake to make sure that we're doing everything we can to maintain the quality of Lake Manitou.
Yeah, you're kind of the watchdog.
Somebody's got to watch it, and
Yeah.
we have a bunch of volunteers. We have a good diverse board. We have people from inside Rochester, outside Rochester, people who have been around the lake their whole lives, and people that are new to the lake. So we try to bring a diverse perspective to the board.
If we don't dredge, David, then what? It just keeps continuing to build up?
The sediment, when you have a watershed that size, you have sediment coming in all the time, and we're trying to do what we can to help capture the sediment and nutrients before they get into the lake and cause more problems.
We're speaking this morning to David Heyde, president of the Lake Manitou Association. Where do you get the money for all this dredging? And that's high dollar stuff.
That's high dollar stuff, and our goal is to have 100% participation around the lake. Currently, last year we had about 50%. This year we're up to 57%.
You mean membership?
Membership of the 600 properties around the lake. Obviously we want to have everyone participate so that we do have the money. Events like tomorrow night are important to us. We get some Laird grant funding to do some of the studies. The Fulton County Foundation was kind enough to give us $10,000 this year to help provide monies for our biomapping. So, but it's all contributions that we count on.
Okay, now you say biomapping. Tell me what that is.
The biomapping, we have a firm come in and actually monitor the weeds, and so that they can put on the map where the density of the weeds, where the weeds or aquatic plants were last year, where they're going to be this year, so that we can see the trend, so that we can stay ahead of it and make sure that if there's a problem, we're taking care of it. We've had a company come in and treat some of the plants this year in some of the areas that where homeowners were having a hard time getting into their homes, or where the aquatic plants get too solid. Then we are trying to stay ahead of that and maintain those the way they should be.
Now, you were telling me earlier about a system that you've got available for a boat that's stranded out there.
Yeah, we started this year. If it's a non-medical emergency
That's
and you're
cool.
stranded on Lake Manitou, and
Like
I want to
running
stress,
out of gas.
yeah, or anything that may have happened.
We forgot to see Mason, right?
We'll figure something out. Nice plug, Tom. If they're stranded, then they can call the 911. Make sure they communicate that they are on the lake and that it's not a medical emergency, because they don't want to see any of us if it's a medical emergency.
Right, sure.
And we'll come out and we'll help them get back safely to shore.
Great.
We appreciate if it's before midnight.
David, I was thinking about this earlier, and it dawned on me, a lake is a very complicated thing.
There's a lot of moving parts,
Right.
Tom, and I had no idea how much it really did, and I've been on the board now for just a few years, and to understand the balance, and you need the aquatic plants to be the great fishery that Lake Manitou has been known for forever. You take those weeds out for a few years, and all at once the whole balance is off. So I talked to the DNR last week. They have done a couple of fish studies back a few years ago, and we've requested they come in and do another one next year to electrofish the lake to help us manage, to know what it is, because you want it to be a great fishery. You want it to be usable by those that have boats, those of us older people that cruise the shoreline in our pontoons. We don't want to be cutting off a bunch of the plants. We need to make sure that we make a good lake for everybody and make it great for Fulton County.
I know one of your requests too was to cut down on the size of the prairie, right?
We are looking
In
at
that area between the prairie and the moose.
We have some safety concerns
Right.
with some of the restricted area. We have talked to the DNR. We're working, everything we do, we work through the DNR. It's not just a bunch of us sitting down, hey, we're going to do this tomorrow. Everything we do, we go through the proper channels to make sure we're communicating with DNR. DNR is going to be coming out. We need to make sure that we have the prairie in the place it needs to be based on depth and the aquatic plants that we have in the area. So we just want to make sure we have it in the right spot. We don't want to do away with it. We just want to make sure we have it in the right spot so that it's doing what's supposed to do.
Okay.
David Heyde, president of the Lake Manitou Association. Tell us one more time. Tomorrow night, what time and where?
Tomorrow night, roast and toast, 5:30, the Rochester Moose. Dinner tickets are $25. You can pick those up at Rochester Homes or Lakeshore Realtors, or they will be for sale at the door. We also have a 50-50 raffle. Tickets are $10 each, or 10 tickets for $50. So I have those with me this morning if when all of you want those. So come see us tomorrow night. Let's have some fun and fellowship.
Thanks for stopping by this morning.
Thank you.
When you mentioned roast, though, you're talking about we all get up and talk about David Heyde, right?
Sure, Tom. I was thinking more like hog roast, but you do it any way you want.
Okay, our trivia this morning is how many acres does Lake Manitou cover? 775, 975, or $12.75?
Oh, let's try the first one.
Okay. Well, you live out there. You know about that. Yeah, that's right. 700. Is that right, David?
$7.75.
775.
All right. All right, let's close with these words of wisdom from Henry Ford.
Okay.
You can have any color you want as long as it's
That's
black.
what he said. That's right.
Okay. Well, he says, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind.
Well said. Dick Belcher, thank you very much. David Heyde, Gloria Carvey, thank you for being here. And of course, Tanner, for keeping us going on the First Federal Program.